back to my channel. Today I am so excited to share with you my 2021 Christmas decor. First, I want to tell you what inspired my decor this year. For the most part, every year I reuse the things I already have, but I do look to add new pieces all the time. So this year I was flipping through a magazine called LTD Commodities. I order from them here and there, but they had these plaid plates that I saw, and for whatever reason, they just drew me in and got me excited about Christmas. And when I saw them, I knew that they would go really perfectly with the Christmas plates I had gotten last year at Walmart. And that together kind of inspired the feel that I wanted for Christmas this year. So I knew after looking at these plates that I wanted to do mostly white with bits of red and then bits of plaid. I wanted it to feel cozy and nostalgic and just very traditional and not overpowering, if that makes sense. So that's what I would suggest when you're decorating your house for any kind of holiday or really anything in general. Start with something that you love, something that you can draw from and inspires you. So once I had these plates, I went ahead and ordered them. I was just on a mission that if I saw anything else that I felt like went with that theme, I would go ahead and pick that up this year. The first thing that I usually start with when I am decorating my house is my tree. It is the focal point of the Christmas decor. I'm sure you probably feel the same way in your own home. It's the thing that makes the biggest statement, and it's where like all the colors and the kind of design starts. So that's the first thing I set up, my tree. And then I always have the same kind of base ornaments that I keep and reuse year after year. Those are whites, silvers, golds. And I don't necessarily use all of what I have every single year, but that is what I have. The majority of my ornaments are in kind of neutral base colors that could go with anything. And then I always have accent ornaments as well. I have done pink, burgundy, reds and greens. This year, like I said, we're doing whites and reds. And so that is what I pull from. So I don't have to go and buy new ornaments every year. If I know that I want to do a different color scheme the next year, I go to the craft stores after the Christmas holiday when the Christmas decor is 75 to 90% off, and I buy a little bit of those ornaments in those colors. And that is how I switch color schemes. So really the majority of my decor is just me reusing the stuff I already have and just adding in those accent colors. Another thing about my Christmas tree is you will never see a designer tree from me. And what I mean by that is something that is styled strictly with just basic ornaments or just colored ornaments or like themed ornaments, if that makes sense. Mine will always be a personalized tree. I will always have handmade ornaments on my tree. My kids' ornaments, they have made over the years and have also picked out ornaments that we've gotten them every year. Those are very special to us, very nostalgic, and it matters in our tree. I know that some people will do just fancy ornaments or ones that kind of make their tree look ultra beautiful and special in that way. Mine is always going to be something that has all of those sentimental ornaments because they matter to our family. One thing that I did invest in this year, which is odd for me because I don't usually have to do this, is I did get new garlands this year. The garlands I used last year I have had since my husband and I first got married, so that's been 18 years. So they have lasted me a very, very long time. But I really wanted some extra garland and I wanted something with a different feel. The ones that I had before were pine. The ones I got this year are more of cedar or cypress. I'm not even sure what it is. But they're much more natural and look very fresh to me. And that was important to me this year. I will not have to invest in garlands for probably another 15 years, maybe longer, because I'm guessing that these will last just as long as the other ones did. I still kept the other ones so that I can use them in different places. In fact, I used a couple of them on the outside of my house this year, but this new garland is just an excellent addition to my decor. I know it will last me a long time. It was a little bit of an investment, but I did get them from Kohl's when they were on sale. I used my coupons and earned my Kohl's cash for it, so I don't feel that bad about it. But that was one of the things I wanted to add to my decor this year. So once I get my tree all settled and started, that is when I start working on my mantle. So I really wanted to keep my mantle very simple this year. I went with my new garland and hung my stockings just on one side of the fireplace. And I did that because the tree takes up so much room on the one side. I thought that it would like help balance out the weight of the tree to have the stockings on one side of the fireplace. So it gave it a little bit more of weight to that side of the fireplace. In addition, I just kept it very simple on top of the mantle and just did candlesticks and a lantern. And on these are LED candlesticks and a candle in the lantern, and those are on a timer. So come 5 o'clock this evening, Those will turn on and flicker like real candles, and they will stay on for 4 hours, and it's just the prettiest ambiance to our decor, and I am loving the way that that turned out. Normally I go a little bit heavier on the decor on the mantle, but this year I just wanted to keep it very simple, and I'm really glad I did, because like I said, with the tree right here, and it is in a different spot this year in our house, because if you've been following me for a while, you know we got a new couch and we flipped our living room around, so our Christmas tree has to go to a different spot. And with it being right here next to the fireplace, it's heavy, I feel like, right there. So I wanted to keep the fireplace decor very simple so that it wouldn't feel bogged down in this area. One of the things that I did with, and I want to mention for decorating, is with the pops of red, I went ahead and added those in different parts of the decor to kind of bring everything together and make it very cohesive. So while I only used red ornaments on my tree, I went ahead and pulled a couple of berries that I've already had for years and years and stuck a few in a couple of the garlands. I did not do it on every garland because I didn't want everything to match completely. I wanted everything to coordinate and be cohesive, but not be matchy-matchy. I wanted it to be different and interesting in the different areas. So for my fireplace mantle, I went ahead and pulled those berries over to bring over some red into the mantle since it's right next to the tree. And in addition, I wrapped a pine cone little garland piece that I got from Dollar Tree last year in that. That I think gave a really nice touch to the fireplace and a little bit of interest in that garland. And to match that and coordinate with that, we have a half wall that sits in between our living room and our dining room. So I went ahead and draped another garland over this. Now this is the first year I've ever put a garland on this wall. And because it's shorter, I ended up having to drape it over the side, but I really, really love the way this looked. What I did was I went ahead and wrapped another of those pine cone garlands in this one, and then also added a few berries as well. So since that you can see from the tree and is kind of in the living room as well, those three pieces, the tree and the two garlands, all coordinated. The next thing I focused on was my couch. And like I said, this is a brand new couch. I recently got some new down pillows for the back of it, just for pure comfort. And we had blue and white and gray patterned pillowcases on these for the fall. And I knew that that was not going to go with the Christmas decor, but I also wanted to keep the couch very light and fresh and open. So what I did was I went on Amazon and I ordered just white pillow covers, but I didn't want them to be just white and plain. So I went ahead and got a couple of different textures and patterns. And some of them are fur, some of them are more like a felt kind of material, and that just gave texture and interest to the white pillows. It still feels very light and fresh on the couch, but it is like interesting with the texture, and it's cozy. Like when you sit on it, it feels soft and comfortable. But in order to bring over some of the Christmas, I went ahead and added 2 of these deep green velvet pillows. Those I've had for years and actually match my dining room chairs. And so that kind of brings the living room and the dining room together. And then I have these plaid pillows. I also got these from Amazon this year. They're just covers. And I went ahead and added 1 on each end, and also a plaid blanket that I picked up from Walmart this year. This just pulls some of that plaid that I was talking about with the plates. You're gonna start to see all of these different elements kind of go together. The other thing with the couch, I felt like once the couch was made, it wasn't like something was missing. So I found this wreath at Walmart this year. It was $13, and I hung this above my couch, and it's small, but there's something about that green element being brought over onto the wall that leads your eye from the tree to the wall and then to the other side of the room, and it just makes it all come together. And that is probably one of my favorite additions to the living room this year. And then moving over to the other side of the room, because our living room is different this year, we did have to switch up some of the furniture to fit the tree. So I ended up putting this side table that is normally by our armchair over in this corner. And I knew that I wanted to put some lights on this. And the reason is because, again, the tree is very big and heavy, and the majority of the lights are over on this one side of the living room, I wanted your eye to go to the other side of the living room as well. And so we had this pencil tree. It's part of a set of 3. The other 2 we put in rooms, and there are different heights, but this is the smaller of them. And I just wrapped light strand on it and just kept it simple. And then I added this lantern with this candle, which has a little bit of pine inside the wax. I'll never light it. It's purely for decor, but I thought that that was a really nice touch to bring in some of the green from the other parts of the room. To add in a little bit of red, I have this heart dish that a friend of mine gave me, and then also this wooden angel that my mom gave me. It has the same colors with just a little pop of red, so it gives you that same feel as the tree and the fireplace and all the other parts of the decor. This lamp I wanted to add here as well. We've had this for years. We got it from an antique store, and it just fit the vibe that I feel like I was going for Christmas. And then also added some extra light over in this corner, which we don't have lights in that corner in general. Our ceiling lights are just over the fireplace, so we kind of need some light over here anyway. So this was a really nice addition to this table. And then in order to give it a little bit of a Christmas feel, I added some of this greenery that I've just had and used in various parts of my decor, and a couple of those same berries from the mantle. And that gives it a little pop of red, but also helps coordinate it with the other pieces in the decor. In the other corner of the room, we have this grandfather clock that I love. And normally I don't do anything with this for Christmas, but it felt like it needed something this year. So I took some of that same greenery that I used around the lamp, stuck it just right on top of the grandfather clock, and then I added this plaid bow from the Dollar Tree. I found these at the Dollar Tree this year. I saw them and I thought that they were beautiful and very expensive looking, and for $1 you really can't go wrong. And that just pulls in again that plaid from the plates and the pillows on the couch, and now you have the plaid on the grandfather clock. And then I even added a plaid bow to that side table over there in the corner, and now your eye is just seeing these bits that go together all around the room. The next thing I did was our staircase. I do always do a garland on my staircase. This year with the new garlands, I really wanted them to just drape and hang, and I wanted to add bows to them. I feel like that's really big on Instagram and Pinterest this year or whatever, to add silk ribbon or raw edge ribbon. I could not find any of that at our craft stores. I looked at all of them. So I decided to just go ahead and make it. So I just ordered a yard of chiffon fabric from Joann's Fabric. It is more sheer than I had anticipated, but I really like the way it looks because of the way the lights shine through the ribbon now. So I just laid it out and cut strips of the fabric. I didn't measure. I wanted it to be very imperfect and raw and just natural. So I just cut the strips randomly, and then I tied those everywhere the garland met the staircase. But in order to bring all of these pieces together, I also added a ribbon bow to the top of the tree that sits over in this corner, and another ribbon bow to the wreath that's on the wall. And then I carried the ribbons over to the fireplace mantle as well. And you'll see them on the half wall garland too. So again, it's just taking these elements and adding them to the different parts to bring them all together. The dining room and kitchen are always the last things to get decorated. For the most part, most of my decor stays in the living room, and that's the part I am the most excited to do because the tree and the mantle, you know, are the biggest parts. But one of the things I did this year was add wreaths to the back of my chairs. Again, I did this last year. They were candle rings from the Dollar Tree, but they had touches of burgundy with them. So I did know that I wanted to do something different this year since I was doing red as my accent color. So I went ahead and picked up these wreaths. I got them from Joann's for half off, and they don't have any color to them. What I love about that is I can use them year after year, and no matter what my accent color is, I can continue to use these wreaths. I did go ahead, and you'll notice that I added some more of those fabric bows to these wreaths too. Again, it's just tying in those elements so that it looks like everything goes together. I added another garland above my doors in the dining room, and then 2 more of those plaid bows on either side of the garland on the windows. That was just a little touch of red. I felt like this space needed both red and plaid, and I thought that that was a really good way to add it. As far as the centerpiece for the dining room table, I have this, I think it's a wine bucket. It's just a silver piece that a friend of mine gave me. I went ahead and added some greenery to this, some pieces that I had from last year, and I stuck in a couple of flocked picks with that, and also a couple of hydrangea flowers. I know hydrangeas are not traditionally Christmas, but with the white color, I felt like it still matched, if that makes sense. And then I stuck this sweet little owl in here, which I've had for a while, and it's just kind of a little fun element for the dining room table. But in order to pull some more of that plaid and red in, I went ahead and tied this plaid ribbon around the vase, and that is probably one of my favorite touches. One other place that I love to decorate for Christmas is my desk. My desk is mostly functional. It is mostly for storage and like usable space, but there are a couple of little spots on it that I do like to decorate for the seasons. So in order to coordinate that with the rest of the decor, I went ahead and put another garland up here. And actually this is a half garland. I had to use 1.5 on one of the stair sides, so I had an extra half, and I thought that that was perfect for this part of my desk. And I wanted to keep it simple up here. I went ahead and I have this glass and gold house. This actually matches with the lantern that is over on the fireplace, and so I went ahead and put a simple white candle in there so it kind of looks like it goes. And then I just put a couple of glass trees up here. I thought that that looked really pretty, as well as another pine candle in the lantern that matches the one over in the corner in the living room. And then I have this sweet little set of Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus salt and pepper shaker that my grandma gave me, and I just love them. They're so stinking cute, so they had to be in my decor this year. They were in my decor last year as well, so that is where I put that. And then I felt like my window over my sink needed a little something, so I had one more garland left, and I went ahead and draped that over the sink. The last places that I decorate in my kitchen are above my fridge, and I have a little tray on top of my microwave, and I just like to add a little bit here. At the top of my fridge is storage for cake plates and trays, but I don't like it to look like a storage piece, so I do decorate a little bit. I know it's a little bit weird, but I like the way it looks. So I added some more of that greenery that I used in the living room, a few pine cones, a candle, and also this Santa napkin holder that my grandma gave me. Again, it's just a sweet piece that I love, but it brings a little bit of red over here, some of that green that I've used throughout the space, some of the pine cones, which you'll see have been in several different spots in the house. And on this tray above the microwave, again, I used the same greenery, a couple of those berries that I had used on the garlands in the living room, and these sweet reindeer candle holders. They're like a black metal with a little bit of brass painting on them. I thought that those really coordinated with the bells on the garlands. And then again, those have LED candles in them as well. So those will turn on at a certain time of night and turn off on their own. That is what I ended up doing for our Christmas decor this year. I really hope you liked this video. Please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. I want to wish you and your families the happiest of Christmas. And if you celebrate any other holidays, happy holidays to you. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your year. Thank you so much for being here and watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is the middle of November. Thanksgiving is next week, but I am mentally preparing for Christmas already. We are a traditional family. We do not decorate for Christmas before Thanksgiving, but I will sneak in some outside decorations and also a couple of bedrooms. But our main living area, like our tree does not go up until after Thanksgiving, things like that. But I have been planning and prepping for Christmas this year. I have something in mind as far as like the colors and the scheme that I want to do this year. But I have a couple of projects that I want to do, and the first one I'm going to share with you today. This is a really easy, simple craft project. I have a wreath that I just want to tear apart and revamp. So I'm gonna share it with you just to give you a little bit of wreath inspiration. Maybe it inspires you to do something similar in your house or to reuse some of your old Christmas decorations. So let me go ahead and show you what we're working with. This is the wreath I made last year. I do like it, but I'm just kind of not into it as much this year. I think I really want to take off the gold ribbon. These are just from the Dollar Tree. So like basically last year, I already had this wreath that I had gotten on clearance a few years ago. Had never done anything with it. I added the little berries and the gold ribbon, which I already had, and then I had these two little ornaments from the Dollar Tree. So I spent like $2 on it and got a wreath for the year. But I just think I want to do something different. So I'm going to take this apart and we're going to rework it to be something that I like more. So my wreath is empty now. I pulled out like several of these picks that I had from last year. I think what I want to do, and I've only ever seen this done on a grapevine wreath before, but I want to just kind of stick to a corner and see how that looks. And I know like I've never seen it done with a regular wreath before, but I think it could be really pretty to just be, you know, one side and then just the flocked on the rest. So that's what I'm going to try to create out of these picks. I have a couple poinsettias, not sure if I'm going to use those, and then I will throw some ribbon on there as well, and we'll see if I end up liking it. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through exactly how I'm building this wreath and what my thought process is, just so that if you're making one yourself, you can kind of get a feel for exactly what I'm doing. But basically with this flocked wreath, I kind of want to break up the colors to create a space for my little corner. So my thought here is to add this greenery. It's just a pick that I got from Hobby Lobby last year or the year before. I'll link it below. It's a great pick. You can just cut off the pieces, which is what I did. And I am laying these just in the corner like as a spray going either direction. And these are very light pieces. So all I'm going to do is just add a couple of drops of hot glue on each of these, and that will be enough to secure it to the wreath. Now that I have this base layer done and you can kind of see which directions my picks will be going, I'm going to start adding in a couple of these picks. These I got from the Dollar Tree last year, but they actually still carry them. They're a really beautiful pick. They have kind of a frosted look, but I really like the way the greenery lays. So I'm just poking these in the wreath and then I'm bending the end of it on the back of the wreath. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of hot glue to secure them. Next thing I'm going to add in are a couple of these pine cone like twig picks that I got from Michael's last year. I'm not sure if they carry these this year or not, but they'll have something similar, or maybe you already have some in your own decor. These are a really stiff pick, so I'm able to just kind of stick these in there without really securing them too much. But if you have trouble with your picks sticking in your wreath and hot glue is not enough, I do recommend using some zip ties. Next, I'm just adding a couple of poinsettias. I decided to forego the ribbon. I don't know why, just wasn't feeling it, and I just liked the way these poinsettias looked. These are also from the Dollar Tree from years ago. I have had them forever, and I use them on and off in decor, but I just kind of wanted to bring them back for the outside this year. So the last thing I'm gonna add are a couple of the picks from the wreath that I took out in the first place. I wasn't planning on adding these in, but once I got those poinsettias on there, I just kind of wanted the bigger pine cones and then another pop of red. So since these had the red berries and the larger pine cones already on it, I decided to go ahead and add these in. When you're making wreaths, a lot of it is just playing around with those pieces to make sure it's laying the way you want it to. So that's what I'm doing here, playing with this pick, just trying to get it just right so that I like the look of it and where everything is placed. Again, I'm going to add it on both sides. This kind of wreath is fairly symmetrical where you're going in two directions, but it's just in one corner. So everything I'm doing to one side, I will go ahead and do to the other. And then I just have a couple of extra pine cones that I'm just going to add in to fill it out. Okay guys, that is it for this craft project. I really hope you enjoyed this and hopefully it gave you a little bit of motivation and inspiration for your own home. Please like and subscribe so that you do not miss a video. I have a bunch of great Christmas content coming up, a couple of craft projects, some decorating. Thank you again for watching and I will see you guys in my next video. Welcome back to the Crafty Home. If you're new here, my name is Tanya. First of all, excuse my appearance. I am not fixed up today. I have a date with my husband tonight. I've been working on the front porch Christmas decor. I will have that video linked if it's already up. Otherwise, it might come up after this one. So subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss it. But today we are going to work on a little project for the front porch. So every year I love to do new things and mix up my decor. This year I really wanted to do like lantern swags. I don't even know if that's really what they're called, but you know, you have porch lights on either side of your door usually. And I have seen lots of pictures and inspiration that include like swags on those during Christmas. And I love the way they look. So I thought, you know what, I probably can just make those because I think that they cost a lot of money, like $40, $50, maybe even more from craft stores. I'm sure I can do it for cheap. So I'm just gonna be using stuff that I already have around the house. If you wanted to do this yourself, it wouldn't cost you that much to get the materials like from the store. You could do it very cheaply, I feel like. But if you already have these things laying around, you could do it for free like me. There's not really a tutorial that I have seen for how to do this, so I'm kind of going to make this up and hopefully it helps you create your own. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get started. So this is what I'm working with. I just have 2 wire hangers. As you can see, I bent one to be in a diamond shape. I'll show you why in just a second. And then I just have a couple of old picks. Sorry about the sunlight. This is flocked, so it's really bright in the sun. But I just wanted to use these and then these, I guess, and try to make a swag out of this. I'm also gonna use some green zip ties. So let me show you why I bent this one to look like this. So depending on your lantern, you may not have to do the same shape or even really this, I don't know, the same way, I guess. I have a spider egg thing here. But my lanterns, like there's no place to hook something. Like it's really hard to see. You'd think you could hook up here, but this is actually closed. so you can't go through there. So I'm going to hook it just like right here where it's closed on this. And see, this just like fits like this, but see how there's like a diamond shape below it? So I'm going to attach my picks to it so that it comes down like this. So just to give you an idea, in fact, this is how I'm going to start it. I'm going to start it while it's hanging on my lantern. That way I can see where I want this. But I'm just going to kind of hold this up here, see where it hits, and then I'm going to zip tie it to this hanger. And I'll probably shape the hanger a little bit more to hold this pick in place, and then that way I get the shape and the length that I want. So since I'm starting with picks that I already have, I obviously want to shape my hanger to fit these picks. So I'm just holding up my pick here, and then I'm sort of squeezing my hanger a little bit more to make it a little bit more narrow and fit the width of this pick. And then I'm just going to go ahead and zip tie it in place using 2 of the branches for the pick. Okay, so I'm going to show you this real fast, but basically this is kind of swinging freely in the hanger, which I won't want it to do. So what I'm going to do real fast is just take a zip tie right here and kind of loosely hook it like that. And then I'm going to take another zip tie on the other side. I'm going to go around this stem and through the first zip tie to connect them. And I can tighten this one like that. And then if I need to, I can tighten this one. But that makes it so that this no longer swings freely and it is secure to the hanger where I want it. And now I'm just gonna take, and since this is like my first piece, I'm just gonna take different picks and like tuck them in. I know I have to cover a little bit of this, but the rest of it doesn't show. And so I'm going to take my picks and just kind of fill in the like hanger parts and the blank parts, if that makes sense. Real fast before I start in filling the pick, I want to bend my second hanger to be the same shape as the first one. Since I'm making 2 of these swags, I want them to look identical. I'm also using the same picks, obviously, so it makes sense that I would want my hanger to be the same size. So take a minute and bend your second hanger to match your first hanger, and then we can start working on filling in this. So since I had 3 of the same picks to start, all I'm doing is just cutting off the individual branches of this third pick. And then I have 2 extra picks that I have like had over the years and cut stuff off of previously. So I'm just going to cut off those. And this is what I'm going to use to fill in the blank spots on this. I do also have a little bit more greenery that I use like throughout my home and decor, like in my Christmas decor. It kind of looks like a pine. I got it at Hobby Lobby. I'll link it below. It comes with a lot of greenery, but I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of that too and fill in. So basically you just need enough greenery to fill in your swag. And the whole goal is to make it kind of like that triangle shape hanging below your lantern. This is that other greenery that I was talking about. It's just a different kind of look, but I think it looks really Christmassy. I'm not even sure that it's actual Christmas like greenery from Hobby Lobby, but I like it for Christmas time anyway. But what I'm doing is I'm going behind what I've already built. So the beauty of doing it this way is it's open backed. So that means you can add stuff behind. So I just use that initial pick to basically give me like what I wanted sort of on top of the base, and then I'm filling everything in from behind. You could turn this over and glue that way, but I really like to see the design as I'm going to see it from the front, which is why I keep like picking up and gluing from the top underneath. So now that I have the base done and basically the shape of it, I'm gonna start adding in the decor kind of. So I have picks from the Dollar Tree. I just have one that I'm gonna add to each swag. It's kind of like a frosted fern look. I'm gonna zip tie this since it has like a stem to the other stem of the first pick, and that will make sure that that is nice and secure. And then I'm gonna go ahead and clip off all my zip tie ends real fast. And then now is the time you get to basically embellish. So I'm gonna add a pine cone because I have two of these, so I'm gonna do one on each swag, and then a couple of poinsettias because that will match my decor on the outside. And then this will be done and I will show you the finished product. This project is super simple, super quick. I did both of my swags in about 10 to 15 minutes. So that just tells you how easy it is. So if you have some extra greenery and things laying around, a couple of wire hangers, I am sure you could do this too. And then also you could add all kinds of different embellishments to it, ornaments, bells, stars, anything that matches your current Christmas decor. So that is it for this lantern swag tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys in my next video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tanya. Today we are out on my front porch. It is mid-November. I am so ready to start decorating for Christmas. I haven't done anything inside yet, although I'm prepping for it. My family is very traditional. They like to wait until after Thanksgiving, but I'll sneak in the bedrooms before that. Today's like the last nice day, I feel like, of the season. It's 67 degrees. I have an hour before it gets dark, but we're gonna try to get the Christmas lights done right now and start decorating my front porch, door area and stuff. If I can't get it all done today, I will work on it tomorrow. I'll deal with the cold, but the lights is the most important thing for today. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I got all the bushes done. This is how it looks. So I have a little bit of daylight left. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on this here. I have a couple of garlands that I want to hang. I've never done this before. I do have like 2 hooks right here, and then I'll put one in the middle because I have 2 garlands, so they're gonna end up meeting up top. So I need some way to hang it. And then I'm gonna try to do something from these lights, but I don't know what yet. Like I had something in mind, but like when I looked at my lights, I don't think that's going to work. So I have to come up with a solution for what I want to do with those lights. And then the other project I want to work on is making trees out of these tomato cages. I saw this online. I have this extra like garland that I usually use outside on these columns, but I don't really want to hang them this year. So I thought maybe I could try to make trees out of that. We'll see how it goes. So I was trying to figure out how to hang these, like, since I just have the little command hooks, and I thought maybe I would use zip ties to create like a hook on the end of these, if that makes sense. And that way I can hang this on the actual command hook, like the zip tie, instead of the branch itself having to fit into it. So I'm just gonna like tie this like this and sort of leave it a little bit loose so a hook could grab that. And then I think that that's how I'm gonna hang this. Next up is lights. Okay, so that's the garland, and as you can see, it's starting to get dark, so that's how it's all looking. I think it looks really cute. We rapidly lost light, so I'm giving up for tonight, and I will start tomorrow. Hopefully it's not too terrible of weather. It's the next day. I have daylight, but I am inside because it is so stinking cold outside. It started out today 46 degrees. It is like 39 degrees. So it's one of those days that's just getting colder by the hour instead of warmer by the hour. Also, forgive the appearance. I have a date with my husband tonight, and I don't feel like getting ready twice today. So this is how I'm gonna look. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna do these trees inside and then get bundled up and maybe work on the outside for a little bit. I don't know that I'll get it all done today because, like I said, I have a date. So this might be a 3-day project, but for now, let's go ahead and do these trees. Okay, I'm gonna do my best to explain exactly what I'm doing with these tomato cages, but where these would normally poke into the ground, I'm just taking a rubber band and closing that top up so it's a cone. And then instead of just wrapping my garland around continuously, I'm doing 3 strands of garland. So where there are 3 vertical metal poles that go the length of the tomato cage, I am starting a piece of garland. And I'm wrapping it up and leaving a good size space in between. And what this is going to create is kind of a spiral that you can see through the tree. You'll see it as it goes, but basically each garland I'm going to go ahead and wrap the same distance apart from itself, but like closer to the next garland above it, if that makes sense. Hopefully the video actually shows you what I mean, but and you can kind of see how it's twisting right now and how it looks. But I just think that this is like a really cool look for kind of open trees or lit garlands. I don't even know what you want to call it. So I don't know. I just thought that this was a good way to do it. So I'm going to wrap these all up, and then at the top, when they're done, I'm just going to take a zip tie and secure the garland to the top of the cone. So here I'm starting the second tree, which is smaller, so hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit easier, especially because I'm just doing one garland at a time. But like I said, I wound it around with a good space between it, and then I started the next garland just below or just above the first one, and still like spread wide apart. These this garland on the second tree I actually zip tied to the cage, and the first tree I just tied it in a knot. You can do it either way, and it won't matter, but that's just two different ways you could actually start a tree like this. And then after this is done, we're going to go ahead and add lights. Again, I'm going to do my best trying to describe the lights here. It might be easier just to watch it, but basically where I want to start the light, I'm going to zip tie it so it stays in place, and then I'm going to follow the first garland up, and it's going to be a wide space since they're all starting from a different spot on the tree. And then when I get to the top, I'm just going to loop it and come back down, following like the second strand of garland, if that makes sense. So it's actually going to turn in a different direction coming down, so you'll just have to like loop it whichever way will get it to come back down. And then when I get to the bottom of the second garland, I'm going to tuck it and like go around the base of the tomato cage to go over to the third strand of garland and go back up again on the tree. This is a 100 strand light, and there are extras of the lights, like it doesn't fill the whole tree, but I didn't want it to because the light will end at the top of the tree, and I have the rest of it running down the back so that I can connect the second tree lights with it. After I had the first set of lights on the big tree, I went ahead and plugged this in outside, and as you can see, that extra bit of light will go down the back of this tree, and then I'm going to go ahead and use that to plug in the strand of lights that goes on the smaller tree. So I'm actually going to wind this one outside. That way I just knew I had enough space with the lights based on where I wanted to put these. But now that these are wrapped, I can unplug them from one another and from my little light switch or timer or whatever you want to call it, and they'll be ready to go for next year. Okay, so here's what this looks like for right now. Obviously the lights are not on, but I'll show you again when it gets like to dusk and the lights do go on, because I think it'll be really pretty. But I recently made this wreath. It's a wreath I had done last year, but I just redid it. I have a video on it. I will link it below if you want to see it. But I love this thing. Like, I'm so happy with how that turned out. So what I want to do now is I have like all these extra poinsettias and stuff that I've just had, and I kind of want to add some in around the garland and see if I can kind of make that coordinate with the wreath a bit. I don't know how many I'm going to do. We're just gonna play with it and see what I like, but we're gonna take care of that next. Okay guys, this is how it ended up. I love it. I can't wait to see how it looks with the lights on. So there's that. For now, I have this, and then I have a little project I'm gonna do for these lights, and I have a sign that comes here, but this might be the end of it. Okay guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up so that I know to make more content like this. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I will have a tutorial coming for how I did those swags underneath my lanterns. Very easy, inexpensive. I did mine for free, so you'll want to see that one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.